Great to be here with you guys today. Well, it didn't take long for Alyssa Thomas to be proven as a liar. It didn't take long at all. She says, oh, Kathy Engelbert. Oh, I haven't heard from Kathy Engelbert. Well, actually, Kathy Engelbert reached out to you last week. Remember, Alyssa? You guys communicated through text message last week. Oh, but that doesn't really fit into your victimhood narrative, does it? Then we have active.
Alyssa Thomas looked directly into the camera and shared a story that seemed ready to shake the entire league. She claimed that WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert remained silent while she was being targeted by online trolls and facing unprecedented harassment. But within hours, the entire narrative began to fall apart because of a single text message. It was not simply a mistake, it became a calculated move that quickly backfired in front of thousands of fans. Now, the reaction is growing louder, and it is not for the reasons she expected. The image of one of the WNBA's most protected veterans is finally beginning to crack as the truth about her communication with the league office comes into the spotlight.
This Alyssa Thomas situation is the Jussie Smollett situation of the WNBA. Let me guess. After they sent you those messages, Alyssa Thomas, it ended with, "This is Clark country," and they chased you away. Then we have the New York Liberty fans booing Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, which I find interesting. I find the New York Liberty fans booing Kathy Engelbert interesting because, correct me if I'm wrong, Kathy Engelbert wore...
The controversy began when Alyssa claimed she had not heard a single word from Commissioner Kathy Engelbert regarding the online harassment she said she had been facing. She painted a picture of a league that had abandoned its stars to the harsh world of the internet. It was presented as a victim narrative designed to pressure the league into action and gain public sympathy. But the problem with that approach is that the facts must stay hidden. She believed her version of events would hold up until the real timeline was revealed to the public, exposing a major gap in her story.
The NBA Finals series was riddled with calls going against the Minnesota Lynx because it was, wait for it, fixed, allegedly, fixed, it was fixed, rigged, to get the New York Liberty to win a championship. And they're booing the commissioner? Interesting. Let's get right into it, shall we? Like the video, hype the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. Let's start with Alyssa Thomas on recent online harassment. We still have yet to hear anything from Kathy Engelbert.
Alexa Filippo of ESPN revealed that Alyssa and the commissioner had actually been exchanging text messages just days before the public outburst. This was not a situation where there had been no contact or where she had been ignored by league leadership. It was a direct line of communication that Alyssa chose not to mention during her public complaint, creating a very different impression. When you tell the public that the league is ignoring you while you are actively texting the commissioner, your credibility quickly comes into question. The revelation turned her emotional appeal into a major public relations problem that the league could no longer easily push aside.
She remains silent, and that's unfortunate when our lives are being threatened. Well, interesting, Alyssa Thomas, because the only people who've been arrested for stalking WNBA players are two individuals that stalked WNBA players that played on the Indiana Fever. Oh, wow. Did Kathy Engelbert speak up about that, Alyssa Thomas? But Caitlin Clark's not black. Oh. When Sophie Cunningham's stalker got her, did Kathy Engelbert speak about, but Sophie Cunningham's not lesbian. All right.
This situation has been compared to the well-known Jussie Smollett case because of the way the narrative appeared to be built for maximum public impact. The podcast narrator did not hesitate to criticize what was described as a victim narrative used to shift attention away from Alyssa's own actions on the court. It is a strong comparison, but it reflects the frustration many fans feel when they believe serious issues are being used to gain leverage. By claiming she was being ignored, Alyssa attempted to present herself as a symbol for the WNBA's veteran players. Instead, Many believe she only raised more questions about the facts behind her claims.
Punching Caitlyn in the throat. Now I mentioned this. Oops, excuse me. Now I mentioned this. Do you know what Alyssa Thomas wants Cathy Engelbert to do realistically? These players want Cathy Engelbert to police social media. Just do us all a favor. Go to your safe space on Threads, go to your safe space on Blue Sky, and stop swimming in the deep end. Stop swimming with the sharks. Go to your echo chamber, Blue Sky, go to the echo chamber and Threads, and just leave us all alone with your victim Olympics, please.
The irony of Alyssa presenting herself as the victim has not gone unnoticed by those who watched her recent game against Caitlin Clark. While she has been speaking about harsh comments and online criticism, many pointed to her physical play against the league's biggest rising star. Alyssa appeared to make forceful contact with Caitlin Clark's neck, a play that many believe would have brought heavy criticism if another player had done the same. Yet she expects the league to police social media, while many believe her on court actions have received far less scrutiny. It is a double standard that many fans say is becoming harder to ignore as they grow tired of seeing the rookie become the focus of repeated physical play.
Echo chamber and Threads, and just leave us all alone with your victim Olympics, please. Please. Well, what do you want, Kat? What do you want, Alyssa Thomas? You want to get rid of free speech? Is that what you want, Alyssa Thomas? You want to get rid of free speech, Alyssa Thomas, huh? Me words hurt? Oh. Now, Cathy Engelbert, of course, felt the pressure from the mob, felt the pressure from the WNBA old guard, and said, oh, fine, I'll put out a statement, fine. The WNBA vehemently condemns any and all forms of hate.
Caitlin Clark has faced a level of attention and criticism that many players in this league may never experience. Yet she has rarely complained publicly. She has faced intense public criticism, media attention, and repeated physical play from opponents, but she continues to focus on the game. Many people overlook what she has gone through because she does not regularly speak out or demand apologies whenever she faces criticism. The contrast between Clark's quiet approach and Alyssa's public calls for stronger social media action is striking. It highlights a clear difference between those focused on playing basketball and those focused on speaking out about their treatment. Clark gets a fist in her neck, while Caitlin Clark has stalkers being arrested, while Sophie Cunningham has stalkers being arrested, while Myisha Hines-Allen's getting called a coon on the court. Cathy Engelbert comes out, scared of the big bad Alyssa Thomas, and has to put out a statement. But now Alyssa Thomas said we have yet to hear anything from from Cathy Engelbert, which is interesting because Alexa Filippo of ESPN said WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert and Alyssa Thomas. Well, they exchanged. The commissioner eventually responded to the growing pressure by releasing a general statement condemning hate, but many critics felt it was not enough. Some wanted stronger action and expected the league to provide greater protection for certain players online. Cathy Engelbert found herself in a difficult position, trying to satisfy veteran players while also facing criticism over other concerns. Many fans believe the league speaks up more quickly when players are offended while remaining quieter when rookies face similar challenges. This perception of inconsistent treatment is one of the main reasons many fans are beginning to question the league's leadership so openly. Ladies in the WNBA, who would have thought she would have been a liar? Not I, says the big bad wolf. Not I. Alyssa I'm sure she heard the monkey noises when she was in Indiana last year. They probably were in her head, they probably were made up in her mind, but I'm sure she heard them. They just weren't vocalized from the crowd. They were the voices inside her head. Shout out to Randy Orton. And then Annie Costable, activist Annie, she gets sent the dossier. We have to talk about the real safety concerns that have been overlooked while this controversy continues to unfold. 2 individuals were recently arrested for allegedly stalking players on the Indiana Fever. Yet the league office did not make a major public event out of it. Why is it that real-world stalking involving a rookie appears to receive less attention than harsh messages directed at a veteran? The narrator argues that the league seems to place greater importance on the concerns of certain players than on the physical safety of others. It is a dangerous path to follow, and it is creating a difficult environment where only certain voices seem to receive attention. Sophie Cunningham is another player who dealt with a stalker without the league issuing a major public statement in her defense. The podcast raises a broader question about the role of identity politics within the WNBA. If you do not fit a certain narrative, your struggles may be overlooked by the commissioner and some members of the media. Alyssa Thomas is using her platform to call for protection that, according to this argument, other players have not received for years. It is presented as being less about equal safety for everyone and more about special treatment for a select few with the loudest voices. This perceived imbalance is creating a growing divide within the fanbase. The activist side of the media, led by people such as Annie Costabile, has been working hard to support Alyssa's claims. They reportedly obtained screenshots of direct messages sent to players like Duana Bonner that included racial slurs and death threats. While those messages are completely unacceptable, the timing of their release has raised questions for some observers. It appears to some like a coordinated effort to shift attention away from the fact that Alyssa's comments about her contact with the commissioner were later challenged. By redirecting the focus to the darkest parts of the internet, they hope people will overlook the disputed narrative that sparked this entire controversy. One of the most unusual parts of the story is the claim that these trolls ended their messages with the phrase, "This is Clark Country." It sounds like something taken from a movie script, much like the well-known MAGA country line from the Jussie Smollett case. It attempts to connect the harassment directly to Caitlin Clark's fanbase without presenting clear proof. The narrator questions this claim, suggesting that these stories may have been exaggerated to make the villains appear more like fictional characters. When stories become this dramatic, many people naturally begin to question how accurate they are. The suggestion offered to these players is simple. If the harsher side of the internet becomes overwhelming, move to a platform that feels safer. Platforms such as Threads and Blue Sky are often described as places where users can avoid much of the conflict found elsewhere. If you cannot handle the intensity of a global platform like X, then perhaps it is not the right place for you. The demand for the WNBA to control the entire internet is described as not only unrealistic, but also as a challenge to free speech. You cannot control what millions of people choose to say, and trying to do so can make you appear disconnected from reality. The scene during the Commissioner's Cup trophy presentation became the center of